morning guys, it is Saturday and I am getting ready for my run. So my New Year's resolution was to run 1 extra kilometre every week, because since we did our 10k we've literally been running 5k since, or not even running at all, and I want to get back up to running like that. So today is 8k and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, to be honest with you. I keep getting really bad stitches and having to stop. So last time we did 7k, but I actually did like 6.5 and then like walk and ran the last bit because I kept getting really bad stitch. But I've had my 1 unit of Nova Rapid to cover my pre-run banana, and I'm going to give that a little bit more time to settle down to hopefully stop the stitch. But also, so I decided to vlog today for 2 reasons. So firstly, I am on my period and I thought I would kind of explain a bit about how I manage my blood sugars and everything around my period, because I know it's like tricky to say the least. So I'm going to discuss that a bit later. But also, if you watch my last vlog, you'll know I've been having a couple of health problems that have been really impacting my diabetes, and my health team are currently exploring what they could be, like what the actual problem could be. And I've had a few updates and we're getting closer, but also I decided to see a naturopath, and again later on I'm going to explain why I went down the naturopath route, what our plan is together, and like the naturopath route versus like traditional medicine route. And I will be going down the traditional medicine route, don't you worry, if I need to, but I'm going to explain all that later. But he sent me some remedies to try for a couple of weeks and they arrived yesterday, so today is my first day taking them. So I thought I would vlog and show you if they have an effect on anything at all at the beginning, how they affect my blood sugars. If they do, he said they shouldn't, but I think a lot of people don't really know when they're dealing with a diabetic just how many things can affect the blood sugar. So I'm gonna try that, but I'm now gonna prepare them. So I'm having those plus my sea buckthorn, and then you guys know I normally have a vitamin C drink, but I don't want to drink and eat too much before my run so that it's all like sloshing around. So I'm gonna take my vitamin C drink as my drink with me on my run. So yeah, all prepared, gonna eat my banana, do my warm-up stretches, go on my run, and then I'll catch you up on all of what I just explained later on. Run actually felt so good, which makes me so happy, because I've kind of set myself a goal that I'm not 100% sure if I'm going for, but I want to run either a half marathon or maybe even a full marathon next year. So we'll see how that goes. But that was my fastest run I've done in a while, and also my longest, so I'm so happy about that. I was low by the time I got back, which you've seen, which I was kind of not expecting, because last time I ran like a kilometre and a half less than today, but I actually went, oh god, the sun, I went really high after my run, and so I took like the same amount of insulin because I've been a bit more insulin sensitive today, but I went really low. So that was interesting. But yeah, obviously if you like notice my graph, it did go up before I came down. So running is actually bringing my sugars down quite a bit now, which it never used to do quite so dramatically. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. But I had my protein oats for breakfast, and I decided not to film that for you because I filmed it so many times. I figured it would probably be pretty boring for you. So it's just oats, oat milk, protein powder, frozen berries, couple of squares of dark chocolate and honey and some seeds. So I had chia seeds and golden linseeds today, and normally that would be 6 units of insulin, but I took 5 because I was low. If I had done like a weight session, I probably would have reduced it again by another unit, but running doesn't tend to have much an effect on my insulin sensitivity like post run, so I don't really need to adjust my insulin for that. I think I'm now about 6.57. I can't remember, I did check it and I forgot already. But yeah, so I'm sitting steady, which I am very happy about. And I was about to come and talk to you guys about like my period and my insulin sensitivity, but I decided it's actually a massive topic, so I'm going to film a whole separate video about that today, and then hopefully share that with you soon, all about periods and the pill with diabetes, because I've learned so much in my experience of coming off the pill. But in the context of today's video, basically, if you watched any of my old vlogs while I was on the pill, I would have real problems with, from a week before my period, I'd get severe hypos and have to reduce my insulin massively. And then from when my period stopped, my insulin resistance would then increase and I'd have to like bring my insulin levels back up. Now I've come off of the pill, I'm actually having kind of the opposite. So from about a week before my period, I'll get really insulin resistant, and then when my period starts, I will then start to get a bit more insulin sensitive again and start to have a few hypos, because I increase my insulin when I'm becoming more insulin resistant, obviously. But then I never quite know when I'm going to start getting sensitive again, so I have a few hypos. So last night I had 2 hypos which woke me up, and again that might be why I went low after my run today. But I did reduce my basal, so yesterday I was on 24 units of Levemir in the morning, and today I was on 22. So I'm back in that insulin sensitivity phase, which is good. But yeah, this is only my second period since coming off the pill back in May or June of last year. So I'm still working out how my hormones kind of respond on a like natural period. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do a whole video about that. So I also wanted to mention the health issues I mentioned earlier. So if you watch my last vlog, you'll know I have been having a few like medical issues that have increased my insulin resistance, which is why I'm now having so much Levemir, like more than I've ever had before. And I think at the point of my last video, which was like a month ago, I was at the point where I'd had some blood tests which had shown my thyroid hormones were slightly off, and I was referred to an endocrinologist who did more blood tests, and it said that my thyroid was even like more off and I was having potentially hypothyroidism. And I went to get a scan of my thyroid and it showed that my thyroid was slightly enlarged, so she just wanted to do one more check of my hormones and then prescribe a medication. So I had that like a week ago, and it showed that my thyroid hormones had actually gone back to normal, and so that wasn't the answer that we were looking for. But I do have a high potential of having hypothyroidism later on in life, because there are antibodies present in my thyroid suggesting it's being attacked, and because it is enlarged, that is quite a high possibility for me later, but she says I don't have it right now. But one thing they did notice was that my cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone, had like continuously decreased throughout all of these blood tests, and they're actually quite a lot below what they should be. I think she said they should be at like 190 or something, and mine were at like 60. I might have got that completely wrong, but I think it was something like that. And so she prescribed me hydrocortisone, which is like an artificial steroid to take to fix that while they do more tests. And I actually today got booked in to do like a day test where they inject me with some stuff and see how I react, basically. So I'm waiting to do that, but in the meantime I decided that taking the hydrocortisone is just fixing a symptom of a problem. Like there's got to be a reason why my cortisol levels are low, and it's definitely not that I'm not stressed, because right now I'm actually feeling quite a significant amount of stress that I have felt for the last couple of months, trying to balance everything with like a long hours job. Like every other week I work 6 days, and then trying to do like videos for you guys and also like relax and do things that I enjoy has been quite a lot of like stress on my mind, and it's not, so it can't be that I'm not stressed. And I decided also, so I was looking up these hormones, these steroids, and there is evidence that steroids can lead to osteoporosis if you're taking them long term, also weight gain and difficult to manage diabetes. And I was like, hell no, I don't want to deal with that. The endocrinologist did reassure me that like they're putting me on a really small dose and that should not affect my blood sugars. And oh yeah, just as a whole like side note, so my symptoms at the moment, the reason why I've been going to the doctor is because I've been getting really low energy, really like, and then I'll be having dizzy spells and like spells of nausea that will last like 2 hours, and sometimes I'll go a few days without them, and then suddenly I'll have like 3 spells in one day and it just completely wipes me out. And I just like, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, but then I never actually do. So I decided I wanted to try and see if I could fix anything naturally. So I decided to consult a naturopath. He's really, really experienced, and he, like, they look at your health as a whole rather than just looking at one symptom and a few symptoms. They look at like your lifestyle, your diet, that kind of thing. And so we went through everything that I eat, and I had been thinking as well, like, while I've been more insulin resistant, I wanted to kind of eat slightly lower carb just to kind of help with that and avoid high blood sugars as much as I could. So literally like a week ago, like on Monday, today is Saturday, I decided to start eating slightly lower carb. And he said to me he thinks it could be the high levels of carb that I eat, because I eat so many carbs. And also like my adrenals and a few like minerals that he suggested. So he sent me some homeopathic remedies and also some minerals to try, and he said also to try and reduce carbs. So although, and I am feeling better since I started eating fewer carbs. Like I've had maybe one nausea spell this week, which is like incredible for me. And so I really think it might be working, and obviously I'm still going to work alongside my doctors and keep an eye on it. And I think if you do have a health problem, obviously go to your doctors and see specialists. Like I did that at the beginning, and I'm still taking their advice. And if I was in a situation where my health was severely immediately at risk, of course I would do whatever the hell the doctor said. But I just wanted to avoid taking another medication that can lead to complications down the line if I could sort this problem out naturally. So that is what I'm doing. And in terms of low carb, my version of low carb is probably the average person's medium carb, because like I said, I eat so many carbs. So like you've seen, my morning has been super carb heavy. So I had my banana and then all of my oats and stuff, and I will never change that for anything, because I want to support my training in the best way that I can. And so carbs are 100% staying with me for my breakfast. But what I'm trying to do is remove like bulk carbs from my lunch and dinner, because normally for lunch I would have a sandwich and whatever else with that. If you've seen any of what I eat in a day, you kind of know what I eat. And then dinner will normally be either like potatoes or rice or pasta with obviously whatever. So what I'm doing instead is, like, for lunches I'm having big salads or omelettes, and then dinners I'm kind of like just removing the carb element. So like yesterday James had steak fajitas and I just had like lettuce wraps, which is like, I would never have a lettuce wrap as like a weight loss thing or like a health thing, but just when I'm trying to do low carb for my like actual health, that's what I'm going for. So yeah, lunches, dinners, lower carb, and then snacks, again, still having some carbs, but it does reduce quite a lot of carbs from my diet. And I'm actually finding my diabetes quite a lot easier to manage, but I don't think this is going to be a forever thing. It's just while I push past whatever illness I'm experiencing and hopefully get my cortisol levels back to normal. So that is kind of an update on how I'm eating. Also, one thing to say is, I have mentioned before that I'm trying to do more plant-based and more kind of vegetarian and vegan meals, but recently, because I'm trying to do this low carb and support my health as much as I can, I am reverting to eating more meat, because a lot of plant-based sources of protein are very high carb, like lentils and beans, and that's just not going to work for this like temporary diet change that I'm on to try and get my health back. But once I go back to normal, I am going to try and do more vegetarian and vegan, but just for the time being, it's not, my health needs to come first. So that's where my diet and stuff is at. I am gonna show you all of my low carb meals that I have today. Well, I'll show you everything that I eat today, obviously. But yeah, now I'm just gonna record that video I said about periods, so I can get that up for you as soon as possible, and then I'll probably have lunch after that and we can catch up with my low carb lunch. I realised I haven't shown on YouTube our fancy new mirror that we bought. Hang on, let me get further back. Yeah, we bought this ginormous mirror, which I am absolutely obsessed with. But I actually came on to let you know that it is like 2 p.m. and so I am gonna be eating my lunch. I just scanned and I'm 6.4 and steady. So having a good diabetes day so far, but that might all be about to go very wrong because so I'm having low carb for my lunches, like I said. So I'm gonna have a big salad. And then for my protein and stuff, I'm gonna have these chickpea burgers that I made a while ago. Now, obviously, there is still quite a bit of carbs in chickpea, but not as much as bread, which is what I normally would eat. So I'm having a bit higher carb than I normally would at lunch in this current health situation. And also, I made these chickpea burgers a little while ago and I froze them. And I did the ultimate diabetes self-betrayal and I forgot to write down the carb count. I have absolutely no idea how many carbs are in these burgers, but I am gonna guess about 30. So I'm gonna have 4 units of insulin for that, which would cover my carbs and obviously no correction because I'm 6.4, and then a big salad. I don't know what we have, obviously lettuce, and then I'm gonna put some cheese on top, and then I might have some fruit for dessert. But yeah, I'm gonna have 4 units and have that and completely pull a number of carbs out of thin air. So my salad has ended up pretty disappointing because all we had was spinach, lettuce, radishes and spring onions. So I don't have a lot of variety on there, but added my cheese and then got my 2 chickpea burgers. Just sat doing some work on my laptop. My blood sugars are 5.3 and steady, so super happy with that. But I'm getting really hungry and we didn't even eat lunch that long ago. But I'm just gonna have a handful of nuts, like some almonds and walnuts for some healthy fats and like as a carb-free snack. So no insulin for that. Like 4:30 and my blood sugars have been so stable today, so I'm really happy with that. Doing the low carb is actually really helping in the short term, but yeah, we are now going to go and do a food shop because as you could probably tell from my extremely sad salad, we do not have very much food in at all at the moment. So I'm excited to go and do that. I'm actually really hungry and doing a food shop when you're hungry is like a really bad idea, but you've got to do what you've got to do. I might take okay, here's my struggle. I always snack on carb heavy things because that's the only like cereal bars, fruit, anything that's like an on the go snack is carby. So if you have any good ideas of low carb snacks, please let me know because I really want just something just to like fill me up a little bit, but I have no idea what's low carb, so I'm just gonna leave it till dinner, which is hopefully gonna be not too long. Although by the time we've done the food shop, it'll be quite a way away. Anyway, that's my problem. I'll catch you guys after the shop. So I had planned to do this chicken thigh, really nice new recipe that I found, and do it like low carb with loads of really nice veg, but being in Sainsbury's was so busy. We were in there for so long, it's actually really late and we're both really hungry and this recipe was going to take literally an hour. So having said I'm going to eat low carb, we're going to have nachos because we already have chili cooked in the fridge and we were going to make it into nachos anyway as like my 1 day off low carb, which is meant to be tomorrow, but it's going to be so quick because it's literally 5 minutes in the oven and we're really hungry, so we're going to have nachos now. I am 6.3, so I've been in range all day other than that like brief little bit during my run. I'm going to have 4 units of insulin for my nachos. There's 60 grams of carbs, but I always split my dose for nachos because it kicks in a lot later. So we're going to have 4 units now as soon as we put the shopping away, and then I will have another 4 units in like an hour's time once my blood sugar starts to come up again. But yeah, that's the plan. But because I was going to show you that chicken recipe as like a low carb dinner option, so because I haven't done, after the end of this vlog tomorrow, I'm going to make it for dinner tomorrow and I will tag that recipe onto the end when I make it tomorrow for you. Oh, dinner is served. I cannot wait to get into these. Nachos are our like weekend tradition and I absolutely love it. And then I've got a little glass of wine to enjoy with my nachos, and I haven't bolused for the wine because I am bolusing enough already for the rest of the carbs in this dish, and the wine won't have much of an effect with all of those carbs going on as well. Feeling so much better after eating some dinner. I definitely have not eaten enough today, so I'm going to have some dessert shortly, but first I am going to bake some of my chocolate chip protein cookies to have a batch that I can take to work. So I'm not sure if I've shown you this recipe before. I feel like I have, but if not, I'm just going to run through it quickly now. So it's really simple. All you do is mix 75 grams of oats with 100 grams of flour and 50 grams of chocolate chips, and just mix it around in a bowl. And then in a saucepan, melt 1.5 tablespoons, like big tablespoons, of coconut oil, 100 grams of peanut butter, 100 grams of sugar. Then you put the melted ingredients into this dry mixture, and then when that's mixed in as much as possible, add 1 egg, and then also, I haven't got it out yet, but any form of milk of your choice, oat milk, almond milk, regular milk, until you get a cookie-like consistency. And you can make about 10 to 12 big cookies or about 16 little ones, so they will last you quite a while, and I like to take them just into work as my afternoon snack. So we have our little cookie batter. It's like obviously solid enough to be made into a cookie, but also nice and gooey and runny, and I'm going to now spoon that out into cookies and then bake it at 180 for like 20 minutes. So cookies are laid out, ready to go in the oven. I'm going to put them in now, but also I am ready for my second like wave of bolus from my nachos. I probably should have had it a little bit like 15 minutes ago, but I started making cookies and completely forgot. So I'm now at point 1. I'm going to have 6 units because I have the remaining 4 for my dinner, plus I was going to have a dessert tonight, but those nachos were quite big, but I still want a little something, so I'm going to have a hot chocolate, which is the extra 2 units. I'm also like 10-15 minutes late for my basil, so I am going to do my insulin, wait maybe half an hour and have that hot chocolate while it comes down, put these cookies in the oven and do my basil. But other than that, that is everything I'm going to eat today. So I'm going to wrap this vlog up for the day, but like I said, I will catch you tomorrow evening for the chicken thigh recipe. Been a good day diabetes wise so far. Have been in range all day, other than just about now. I'm going a teeny bit higher because I forgot my second basil, second bolus, and during my run I went up a little bit before I came down, so really happy with that. I'm at about 90% in range. So yeah, it wasn't quite as low carb as I have been for the last week, which is kind of annoying because I did this whole vlog to show you my low carb meals. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, and I'll catch you tomorrow. So I completely forgot to film these until literally just now, but we're making some bruschetta stuffed chicken thigh, and it's from the Sunny app. If any of you follow Sarah's Day, I subscribe to her cooking app, and this is one of the recipes on there. And it's basically, you lay out your chicken thighs, and then a bowl, it's olive oil, lemon juice, parsley, rosemary and coriander chopped up really fine, and mix it together. And then you like spread those herbs over the chicken thigh, and then finely chop some tomatoes and onions, and then put them in that mix, and then roll up the chicken thigh, and then we've tied it with 2 bits of string. Oh, there's also some garlic in there. And then she says roast in the oven for 45 minutes, but our chicken thighs are a lot smaller than hers, so I'm not sure it's going to take that long. James is going to have it with some chips, and I'm obviously just not going to have the chips. I'm going to have, and we're both going to have a load of vegetables with it. And I will show you the finished dish when it's done. So everything shrunk in the oven quite a lot. The veg and the chicken all shrunk, but I'm really impressed they stayed together and they're still like full of filling, which is really good. So I am excited to try these.